more.
Wow.
Yes, it is. So in this survey, which was 8,000 women that the GSS did in 2021, what happened was women who cheated had about 8.9 previous sexual partners before they were married, and women who didn't cheat, it was about 3.2, right? It's pretty significant. Now, you guys all agreed. I've been on panels.
I got something to say. No.
Okay.
So why would you care if the person that you are currently dating has been with 10 guys before she was
Because
only
I just-
devoted to you? Like, it doesn't really
here's the-
matter.
here's the problem.
Because, like, that's her background. Like, why would you care about that? You know? Like, you shouldn't even have a concern about her past and
Okay,
her
performance
and who she's
Here's the problem. If I just showed you that women who cheat are on average have 150% more sexual partners than women who don't cheat. I have just given you statistical data showing you that you probably shouldn't be with a woman who's been with a lot of men before you get married.
Wait, hold on.
Like it's not. I'm not being a misogynist. I've given you actual statistical data that shows that. Does that make sense?
Myron, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Huh?
Remember
So the point is right there, the next paragraph says the average number of male sexual partners for married women who cheated on their husbands was 2.3 times higher than those women who did not cheat. Do you guys understand? That is, you cannot, from this point on, this debate is over. The idea that body count doesn't matter, this checkmate. It's over. It's done. The data is in. Women who have more sexual partners make worse wives on average. They are
Everybody
more
cheats.
likely to cheat on you, period. You cannot say that this is a function of a misogyny or a patriarchy. There is actual solid data on this now. And this is probably the most offensive thing ever. I promise you, if there was data out there that showed as women had more sexual partners, they were better wives, you would publish that data and immediately, in a heartbeat, and you would immediately, you would be awarded the Nobel Prize in psychology without review. Immediately, you would be granted hundreds of millions of dollars of research if you found any data that showed that. But of course, they did this data back in 1995. We couldn't find any studies on this for like 25 years because nobody wanted to do this
touch it.
research that showed very clearly that as women have more sexual partners, they make worse wives. They are less likely to stay in a relationship. They're more likely to cheat, and they're more likely to file
Mike,
for
who
divorce.
hurt you misogynist?
My expectations hurt me. Thank you very much.
Small dick energy.
Right? He's making a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah. Small dick energy, right?
Cut it.
Small dick energy.
All right, let me just state this for the record because I know the first thing that's going to happen in the comments is, well, what about the guys? Okay, this is not about the guys. Okay, that's every time you throw this out there, it's like,
we're not
men?
hold on, here's the thing. We're not filing for divorce. We're not filing for divorce.
Yeah.
If 80% of divorces are filed by women, and we're talking about you're more likely to file for divorce if you've had more previous sexual partners. Well, it's like, well, what about men? If men have more previous sexual partners, are they more likely to file for divorce? We're not the ones filing for divorce.
Yeah.
Period. So that's not the issue. That's not where it comes from. So do you guys understand the point? The issue is that this argument comes up, body count doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I did before. Then that should read out from the data. You should have maybe a small correlation. Maybe women who cheated maybe had 10% more sexual partners, not 230% more sexual partners. That is a full-on statistical correlation. And so if you see that and you have a problem with it, again, let me ask you something. If I had a niece or if I had a sister and I told her, I was like, hey, just to let you know, there's some studies. It might have to do with your endocrine system. It might have to do with your neurochemicals. But for some reason, when you have more sexual partners, it doesn't allow you to imprint on the man that you end up wanting to marry. And so that may cause you to have a worse relationship. If I tell that to my niece, is it because I don't love her? Or is it because I do love her?
You do love her.
Because you do love her.
So I'm giving good advice to my female friends and female family members because I do love them. Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
That's not misogyny. The point of the
That sounds like
the point of the
misogyny.
data is to show you what reality is. Do you guys understand?
I don't know what that means, but that sounds hurtful.
Chris, what the fuck, man?
No, I'm out.
Chris, what the fuck, man?
No, I'm out of here, bro.
Chris, what the fuck, man?
So what women are saying is correct, and it's men to blame. What we should find is the same level of divorce, or lesbians should be divorced less. And what do we find? Anybody want to take a guess?
Oh yeah.
No.
No.
What do you find?
Oh yeah, because you were real good. Yeah. Okay.
I can take
You
a
have
guess.
no men to
Okay.
I can
blame.
take a guess.
What do you think?
I mean, I know you have an agreement. So it's obviously gonna agree with what you are saying. So it's gonna be women.
Okay, how much more?
Lesbian.
How much more do you think
I don't
lesbians?
know. Like it was 150 the other time, so maybe like 100 this time.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
Women file for divorce. Lesbian couples file for divorce 100% more than gay men file for divorce. So even when you don't have men to blame, you are still leaving relationships faster.
Listen. I love this. Yo. She didn't skip nothing, bro. She didn't skip nothing.
Do you understand? And by the way, do you want to know the number one?
This is why women deserve less book stores, ninjas. God damn.
Do you want to know what precipitates lesbian divorce the most? Do you want to know what it is?
What?
It's when
like the
lesbian
boy.
women have children. And when they have children, I don't know the data on this, but I will bet you every penny I have that the lesbian member that files for the divorce is the one who is the biological mother of the child. I almost guarantee you. Because homosexuality for women is a spectrum, and for men it's more binary. So what happens is all of a sudden she has a baby and she looks over at her partner and she looks at the baby and looks at her partner and thinks about, I need someone to protect, provision, provide, and it's not you. And so I'm going to go start dating men again. And that's essentially what happens. And I'm out. So that's essentially what happens. So even when you don't have...
God.
Even when ladies don't have men to blame, they're still leaving relationships more.
Wow.
Even when they don't have men to blame. So that's the issue, right?
Sartain, W.
I think fantastic. I'm gonna give you a Don DeMarco for that one. I think the bottom line here is that women, you can't make women happy, bro.
You can't.
It's amazing how little it takes for men to be happy, but for women, it's so tough. I saw this picture, right? It was like a TV, like on a fucking, like a small ass table and like a mattress on the floor. And guys were like, man, it's so easy to, this is all, girls, no. It's
a meme. It's a meme.
Yeah, it's a meme. And the women said, men
That's
really
not
be happy
immigrant.
with just this.
Yeah. Can you believe men can do this?
Yeah.
Just be like this?
And
Yeah.
then someone put it like the top comment, like, man, girls really be mad at how little it takes men to be happy. And it's so true, is that like women are not necessarily ever satisfied. And I think it's a biological reason where women kind of have to have this mindset of
Because
the
it's
grass always green on
it's
the
a
other
security
side.
need is
It's a
what it
security
is.
thing, right?
Long-term
Like men
security.
are always looking for the hottest girl, women are always looking for the utmost security. So they have to have this mindset of the grass always green on the other side, which makes them way more predisposed to end relationships. So it is what it is.
Well said.
And they tend to be aroused by dark triad traits. They tend to be aroused by guys who are like hybristophilia, which is the getting off on or the arousal by guys who are dangerous criminals, guys who have killed other
I got
people.
an interesting story after
Exactly.
you tell this.
And so the other thing is like you got to remember that hybristophilia is like not all women are like hybristophiles, but only women are hybristophiles. So like when they get off on a guy who's like a convicted criminal who has the capacity to kill another guy in our ancestral past, there was no greater demonstration of higher value than for one guy to off another guy and then drag you back as the spoils of war to join his tribe. So that's another reason. And also, this is ugly as sin, but it's like when a primate troop, when there's like an alpha male monkey comes in and he deposes the existing alpha male that's there, he proceeds to kill off all the offspring of the previous alpha that was there,
Infanticide.
and
Lions.
that sends the
Lions
female
do this.
monkeys into estrus.
Same thing with the lions.
So that they can reproduce with them. There's something similar happen. There's a parallel to that in human nature as well.
With the lions, yeah.
It's the uglier side of the evolutionary psychology of all of this. But the fact of the matter is, like, when you're looking at, like, when women are like, say, why does he want to get with like the Tinder swindler, right? Why does he want to get with the guy who's the hardened criminal? That's why. Because he has a capacity for violence, and that was something that would ensure long-term security.
One last thing I want to add to that, because you look at Ted Bundy, you look at Jeffrey Dahmer, you looked at Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. These guys have violently killed hundreds of women combined. And who was showing up to the trials?
Women.
So look at them.
Women.
Teenage
wanting
fan club.
autographs, etc. So women definitely like these dark triad traits. Yeah.
Hey,
You know
real
what I'm
quick, ladies, you have you've had sex with a felon. Raise your hand.
The other thing I was going to say, there's a guy I know that literally runs a service where he has a girl sign a contract, and then what'll happen is, like, a year or two later, when she doesn't remember, he'll break into her house, kidnap her, and give her like a grape fantasy, and she pays for it, etc. And he just nigga, I ain't gonna say it.
Come on,
Chris, what the hell? But yeah, he basically runs a service where he does this shit, and I'm shocked. There's girls that actually sign up for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
How much is that?
But the point I'm trying to make is the point I'm trying to make is there's a reason why like girls, like when they're hooking up with a guy that they're aroused by, they want him to choke her and do certain things, etc. Women love to be dominated by certain men. But what I am saying is that spectrum of what women are aroused by is a lot wider than women will admit.
True.
So, because for obvious reasons, right? They don't want to come off as whores